Okay, welcome everybody. This is basic design for Fightsticks. Today we're going to be talking about balance. My name is Jay. You can find me on Reddit under Unable Finding 9259. That's my username I wound up with because my Reddit account was glitched, and every time I tried to change it would shoot back to this. So I am stuck with it. Sometimes I can't find shit, so we're rocking with that username. I've been with it too long to change. You can find me on J Moffat on YouTube. Never expected to make a public channel, but we're gonna let it roll. I'm too lazy to edit also, so bear with me. But today we're gonna be talking about balance as it applies specifically to fight stick design. And excuse the design here, I threw it together real quick. So it is a little bit funky, a little bit janky, a little bit too Photoshoppy. But let's move on. Okay, here we're looking at a few templates for fight sticks. You can find these focusattack.com. Some different users have made them, but it's always best to start with a template. We're not going to delve into how to do this today. We're going to save that for another day. We'll do small sections and talk about various elements that can be tricky when you're designing a fight stick or a leverless. But here we're looking at a template for a Hori Alpha, and you'll notice something here. All right, what we got going on. There's a little bit of a movement to it. Let's check out a hitbox template. Okay, same deal, kind of there is some movement here, but we're looking for balance. Here's a Hot 42 T16. Got a lot more buttons on it, that's for sure. But this one is actually the most balanced of the three. It presents another issue, which is we've got way too many buttons here, so we can't cover up the art with buttons. But let's go back to the Hori Alpha. What have we got? We've got all the weight here. Everything is on the right side. It's inherently unbalanced. Same with the hitbox. Inherently unbalanced. More room on this side than this side. More buttons on this side than this side. It feels heavier in a way over here. Same with the Hori. We got all these buttons over here, up there, and a stick right here. Hot 42, it's a bit more evenly spread out, but like I said before, we've got a whole lot of buttons, and that becomes the issue. And we talk about balance. You can also think of it as positive space, negative space. You can talk about it in terms of contrast. We got stuff here, we don't have anything here. Here, stuff here, nothing here. Something here, nothing here. But we're going to look at some examples of how to balance your design, how to balance an inherently unbalanced design. So let's we're going to go to our first example. We've got user Chan_GG. It was a Hori Alpha Initial D project. And so we've got design elements here, something over here. We've got a feature of the stick here, design here. We've got it balanced out down here. So what this guy has done to even this thing out and present a nice, easy to read design is essentially we've done this. We've filled up some of the space over here to make it much more even. We have a feature of the stick here. We added a design element here to make it much more even. And then we balanced out the stuff on top with something on the bottom. This looks like, the more I look at it, it looks like some kind of cartoon robot face. It's cute, but hey, it works, So let's go back to this and take a second look. The same thing, we balanced out what's over here with the design feature here. And you can really see it's simple, it's clean, it works great. Good design. That is good design at work. Next we are looking at user udata32. And once again, we see positive space, negative space. And this isn't exactly a 50-50 split, but we've got, you know, contrast as well. Darker imagery here, much lighter over here, with some breaks too. This breaks up just all white space or design that's not got too much going on. But this works great. This works really well. And then the whole stick, it's more than just the design. The whole stick works well together. What's featured over here is carried out throughout the buttons. We've got simple white and black over here. The ball top matches. The ball top fits with the art, or the buttons fit with the art. Looks really good. Combat gravities work well with a whole lot of designs as far as buttons. Let's take a look at user Agent 3F. This is just an example of, we don't need to balance this thing out so much if we just use the stick to our advantage. What is here? Let's make something interesting with what's here. And there is a bit of a flow to the movement of this design. But this is just using what the stick has and creating an interesting design. So badass. I love this. It's simple, looks good. Johnny Phrase, hey, I've got a few of his enclosures. Okay, we've got a leverless. You know, the buttons are a lot heavier over here. But here, this is an example of, we've got stuff going here and here, and we've got artwork kind of surrounding the buttons. Artwork surrounding the buttons. And so this is kind of the positive space. This is the negative space. There's enough contrast to, you definitely got a foreground and a background. And a good use of repetition of colors as well. We're mostly talking about balance today, but this works great. And if you're, you know, if you're new to all this stuff, if you've pulled imagery, you know, from Google or wherever, you've pulled a figure, you've pulled a background. If you go designing art around the buttons, find a way to make sure you're using the same colors. It helps a lot. You know, reuse of the same colors. That way you don't have this kind of weird contrast going on that's jankety. It makes everything look a little sloppy. So, you know, keep things tight that way. But, you know, when I see something like this, I almost think of a landscape. You can imagine, like, you know, maybe everybody's brain doesn't do this, but I could imagine like a mountain over here, something over here, you know, whatever it is, mountains, trees. But I could see, you know, how this would work in a photograph and be pleasing. You got whatever you want in the sky, but, you know, just imagine a composition like this. A balanced composition. So kind of where you put what is going to establish the composition of any artwork. And with leverless, it tends to work especially well if you kind of follow my mouse. If you movement kind of like this surrounding the buttons tends to work well. And then I was collabing with somebody else, user Juggernaut Round 5771. We were kind of sending a little bit of art back and forth, but this has kind of the same general movement. And, you know, if I was to go back and change something, I may make this stand out a bit more from the background. But we've got that same kind of space kind of enclosing the background. It works pretty well. I'm not a design genius, but I can give you some good ideas. I can put, you know, some ideas in your head, things to consider. Let's check out. Use a Smooth Trooper 17. All right, I guess he's all about the number 17, but these look great. You don't have to do a whole lot. I mean, a lot of good design is simple. So we're talking about balance. We've got, you know, something here, something over here. We've got logo here, logos here, buttons here, but where the text is, it counts. Your typography counts in your design. And both these are well themed, good reuse of color, and it really works well. And both designs seem really balanced, even though when you look at these things naked, they're unbalanced designs. Let's check out this hitbox from user FlaffXP. Okay, we've got this thing's very blue, very much blue and white, but not a lot of contrast. But you don't always need it. We still get that this space is more occupied than this space, and something about having the darker buttons on this side works well to balance this out. Lighter buttons on this side. We got kind of a darker blue, a little bit lighter blue. Blue, white. Looks good. Works out well. Let's see what we've got next. Okay, this is user Fluffy Mammoth 8314. I was chatting back and forth with this guy. He has no background in design, no background in art. This was the first time he has touched Photoshop, but this is kind of what is possible for a first-time user with a program like Photoshop or GIMP. If you can follow a few principles and give yourself some time and play around with things, and YouTube's a great asset when using any program. If you're not sure how to do something, just check it out. But very balanced. Once again, we've got design elements here against a lighter background. We've got a darker background, but everything is kind of flowing well together on the stick. And it can be very difficult to make a gradient look good. They stand out to me like a sore thumb, but making it very soft, not going too hard, staying in the same color palette really made this great. So we've got this kind of nice balanced design with good movement. We've got logos here, great use of kind of these clear buttons, the clear ball top, a design element here. This looks great. This is probably the prettiest F300 I've seen. And guys, that's going to wrap up what I do today. Next time we'll probably get a bit more. It's not going to be, I don't want to do a Photoshop YouTube tutorial trying to explain all of Photoshop. That's not going to work. I'm going to show you a few things. If you are a first-time user or new user, I hope they still apply in GIMP. I have no knowledge of that program other than that it functions in a similar way with layers, and a lot of the way the program functions is the same. So next time we'll probably talk about where to find artwork. What artwork is cool to use, what will be good to use and what won't, resolution of images, those kind of things. Also other resources for developing your own design, textures, fonts, all these kind of things. I'll get into that. It probably won't be as much fun as this, but we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Thank you.